shot my biggest buck ever. This is sheer excitement right now. I'm shaking so bad I'm gonna get my bow reloaded in case I need to get another one in him. But he's down. He's down. He's I tell you what, if this ain't raw emotion, I don't know what is. I've been trying so hard for a big buck for a long time. I just had the worst experience archery hunting that I've ever found, or I've ever had. It's a love-hate sport. It really is. I accidentally had a super close shot, and I spined him. So I gave it a second, but he was starting to get a lot more energy, and he jumped up and tried running off. So I tried putting another one in him. I freaking missed. And forgot my draw ropes up in the tent. I can't draw this thing back without them. So I had to go back down there again and try to finish him off. He was thrashing too hard for me to try to finish him off with a knife or anything. It just wasn't possible, and he was not going to bleed out. He was just going to suffer. So I had to finish him off, and that's part of the reason I wish that we were allowed to finish deer with a pistol or something if you're having a really hard time. I honestly think Game Commission could think about that. I mean, yes, it's archery, but at the same time, there's a lot of deer that get wounded and run off, and we can't get them. But yeah, that's my story. I got him down though, and he's massive. My biggest buck ever. You'll see. So, my son and I just built this shack yesterday. This is just kind of proof in the pudding that you don't really need to let deer get used to a shack if it just looks a little different, but it's in the same area. I had a small single-seater tree stand here in this spot, and I just shot the biggest buck of my life, and we just put this stand up yesterday. Here's my first shot. And unfortunately, this was a rough one. My first shot, for some reason, was a little high. And I hit a rib, and it exploded. Didn't even exit the other side, I don't believe. I had climbed out of the shack to try to get another shot into him, which was in this vicinity. But that arrow is nowhere to be found, and that had a glow tip on it. So I am super confused as to what happened to that arrow. So technically there was 3 shots. This was a horrible thing and a super emotional hunt. I tell you what, this hunt was full of emotion. Came up this way, swung around, and down here is where my final shot was. And I was able to finish him off. My biggest buck to date. He has a ridiculous amount of character. This is literally the first that I'm laying hands on him. I've yet to shoot a deer this big, and this isn't the biggest one we have on the property. So my wife, my dad, and my son still have good chances at really big buck. Oh man, look at the character in that. In Velvet, I watched him. That was a knife blade in Velvet. No, such a beautiful animal. I wish it could have happened a lot faster. I do. He was almost, so he's a 10 point. And he was almost an 11. He was trying to grow a nub there. Absolutely beautiful animal. True blessing.